What is up, everyone? Welcome to the FA Podcast. Happy Football Friday. Lots of stuff going on right now. Of course, we have football. World Series starts tonight. NBA has been kicked off. And, of course, NHL is continuing to roll as well currently. But we got a full slate to get through, so let's start it off. Monday Night Football, Lions 24-9 destruction over the Bucks. Jared Goff was excellent, 69%, 241, touchdown, a pick, and a fumble. Baker Mayfield struggled, 56%, 228, touchdown, a pick. Look, I have no words for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They should have been able to run up and down the field on this Detroit secondary. I mean, the Lions were playing their like 6th and 7th corners. Like, that is unacceptable. I don't care if you don't have Mike Evans. He got injured in that game. They didn't have Chris Godwin. It doesn't matter. Like, Emeka Egbuka, who got dinged up as well, but ultimately returned. Sterling Shepard, Cade Otton, the running backs, Rashad White, Sean Tucker out of the backfield. They should have been able to easily run up and down on those corners. And I don't know what Kelvin Shepard did. I don't know. But the Bucs, unexcusable, unacceptable for that game and what they produced offensively. Also inexcusable, the NFL, okay, the officiating was horrendous. I have never seen such a one-sided called game in the NFL. I'm serious. Like, this was super bad. The 4th down Cade Otton spot, how can you legitimately tell me that there was a clear and obvious look that showed Cade Otton did not get the ball to touch the line to gain when on the field the call was a 1st down? I have no clue how that happened. There were many other calls throughout the game that were called against Tampa, non-calls against Detroit. I believe, I think I remember there was a hit to Baker Mayfield high and they didn't call it. I mean, it's so bad. It was very, very poor. So I don't know. The officials should be disciplined, or NFL should do something. I have no clue what you want to do with that, but that was kind of my rant for this game. Jahmyr Gibbs went wild. He had a 78-yard rushing touchdown in this one. 17 carries, 136, 2 touchdowns, 3 catches for 82 yards. Bucs struggled to run the ball. That's one thing. The Lions defensively, they were down bodies in the secondary, but up front, they were just eating the Bucs O-line alive. Baker did not have a lot of time, and the O-line injuries ultimately looked like they were showing up when we hadn't really noticed them lately for Tampa. But yeah, 3.8 yards per carry for White there. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a good night, led the game in receiving, caught 6 of his 10 targets, 86 yards, a touchdown. 12-target game for Emeka Egbuka, only caught 4, though, 58 yards. That was another thing. Like, Baker was off. Baker was very poor sailing. He sailed a ton of throws in this game. So I don't know what he's got to do to correct that. Really, you just got to drive off the front foot to continue the rotation through and, get the ball down instead of upper trajectory. Defensively, there's a ton of great defensive performances in this game. I am going to go with Jack Campbell, the linebacker for the Lions. 8 tackles, 3 solos, sack, 2 tackles for loss, pass defense, and a QB hit. Lions minus 6.5 covered, under 54.5. Everyone and their mother had the over in that game. Seahawks 27-19 over the Texans. CJ Stroud, very poor night for him. 46.9%, 229, touchdown, a pick, 2 carries for 25 yards. Sam Darnold, it was up and down, but ultimately okay. 54.8%, 213, touchdown, a pick, and a fumble. Seahawks were able to run the ball. I know it's under 4 yards per carry, but Kenneth Walker led the game, 17 carries, 66 yards. 2-touchdown night for his teammate, Zach Charbonnet. Texans could not run the ball. Woody Marks, 1.5 yards per carry, the Texans' leading rusher there. Or actually, I should say CJ Stroud led them in rushing. My bad. Jackson Smith a jig, but big night for him. 14 targets, caught 8 for 123 and a touchdown. 10-target day for tight end Dalton Schultz on the Houston side after Nico Collins got injured. Caught 9 of his 10 targets for 98 yards there. 10-target day for Nico Collins as well. Caught only 4 for 27. A lot of great defensive performances in this one as well. I got to go on the Houston side, though. Defensive end Will Anderson Jr., 5 tackles, 3 solos, a sack, tackle for loss, QB hit, fumble recovery, and a touchdown. Just wish you would have had a second sack, man. That's what I had. I was hoping to go 2-0 in sack prop plays this year after I hit Max Crosby last weekend for a 2-sack player prop there. Seahawks minus 3.5 covered, over 41.5. Last night, the Chargers absolutely dismantling the Vikings in LA. And I think this is why Jimmy couldn't make the show today. He's in his feelings about the Vikings getting demolished last night. Justin Herbert was spectacular. 72%, 227, 3 tuds, pick, 7 carries, 62 yards. He was just phenomenal. Hit everything essentially, and didn't miss a beat other than the interception. Carson Wentz struggled a lot, but you had to feel for Carson Wentz. He has not had time to throw at all the last couple of games. It's been very poor offensive line play. 55.6% for Wentz, 144, a touchdown, a pick. Max Brosmer came in at the end of the game, 3 for 4 for 13 yards there. Kamani V-Dog, great game for him, up over 100 rushing, 23 carries, 117, touchdown, and a 10-yard reception for the Chargers RB there. Chargers wide receiver Ladd McConkey led the game in receiving, caught 6 of his 10 targets, 88 yards, and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson also double-digit targets, caught 7 of 11 for 74 yards. And how about the rookie, Oronde Gadsden? Another massive night for him. 3 straight games. He's been excellent. 5th rounder out of Syracuse. And defensively, this was the Chargers pass rush. I'm going Justin Boigbe, the 2024 4th-round pick out of Alabama. 3 tackles, 2 solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles lost, 3 QB hits. He was phenomenal inside, helping the Chargers defense. But the reason John and I picked the Vikings, okay, and I can't speak for John, but the reason I picked the Vikings, I thought it would be the opposite. I thought the Chargers would not be able to protect Justin Herbert most of the night, but they did a really solid job offensively. Greg Roman and co. Getting quick passes, avoiding the pass rush totally, and running the ball effectively as well. So very good game plan for Greg Roman there. Chargers covered minus 3.5 easily, over 44.5. College football news, just one note here. Colorado State quarterback Braden Fowler Nicolosi no longer with the program. So that's big time news for the Rams. Already fired Jay Norvell last week. Now their starting quarterback, he is gone as well. UFL news, the Dallas Renegades re-signing a couple guys, defensive lineman Akena Inachukwu and edge rusher Chris Odom. So 2 good pass rushers on that D line there for Dallas. And defense looks like it's going to be pretty stout once again. And we have a game going on that started at 7. And we just had our first score here. North Texas about to be up 7-0 on Charlotte, in Charlotte there. So great start for Drew Mestamaker and the Mean Green. What a catch for the touchdown there. One-hander by that wideout. We also got a game coming up at 7:30, Cal at Virginia Tech. So make sure monitoring that as well. NFL news. We had Hall of Fame class updates for 2026. So lists getting whittled down, votes happening, and the lists decreasing in numbers. So for the coaches, this is the 12 coaches that have advanced the next round. It's going to go down to 9 and then 9 to 1. So it cuts pretty hard at the last one there. One finalist, and then they have to get 80% of the votes to make it into the hall. The 12 coaches moving on to the next round of voting. Patriots head coach Bill Belichick, Giants head coach Tom Coughlin, Broncos head coach Mike Shanahan, 49ers head coach George Seifert, Packers and Seahawks head coach Mike Holmgren, who was the coaching finalist last year, just did not get enough votes to make it into the class. Dolphins defensive coordinator Bill Arnsparger, Broncos offensive line coach Alex Gibbs, Rams and Seahawks head coach Chuck Knox, Chicago Cardinals head coach Buddy Parker, Broncos and Falcons head coach Dan Reeves, Chiefs head coach Marty Schottenheimer, and Bears defensive coordinator Clark Shaughnessy. I think Mike Holmgren's going to get it. He was the finalist last year, and I think he gets enough votes this year to get him in. Players, moving on to the next stage of voting. A bunch. Saints QB Drew Brees in his first year of eligibility. Giants QB Eli Manning, who was a finalist last year, final 15. Chargers QB Phillip Rivers, first ballot. Bucks and Falcons running back Warwick Dunn. Oilers Titans running back Eddie George. 49ers running back Frank Gore, first ballot guy there. Seahawks running back Marshawn Lynch. Chargers fullback Lorenzo Neal. Jaguars running back Fred Taylor. He was a finalist last year. 49ers Eagles running back Ricky Waters. Cardinals wide receiver Anquan Bolden. Cardinals wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald, first ballot. Rams wide receiver Torrey Holt, a finalist last year. Jaguars wide receiver Jimmy Smith. Panthers and Ravens wide receiver Steve Smith Sr. He was a finalist last year as well. Steelers wide receiver Hines Ward. Colts wide receiver Reggie Wayne, a finalist last year. Panthers tight end Greg Olson. Cowboys tight end Jason Witten, both first ballot guys. Bengals offensive tackle Willie Anderson, a finalist last year. Lions offensive tackle Lomas Brown. Bills guard Reuben Brown. Saints guard Jari Evans, a finalist last year. Bears center Olin Kreutz. Jets center Nick Mangold. Patriots guard Logan Mankins. Steelers center Marquise Pouncey, a first ballot. Dolphins offensive tackle Richmond Webb. Cowboys offensive tackle Eric Williams. Raiders guard Steve Wisniewski. Ravens guard Marshall Yanda, a finalist last year. Falcons edge rusher John Abraham. Colts defensive end Robert Mathis. Ravens defensive tackle Haloti Ngata. Bucks defensive end Simeon Rice. Patriots nose tackle Vince Wilfork. Vikings defensive tackle Kevin Williams. Redskins linebacker London Fletcher. Steelers linebacker James Harrison. Panthers linebacker Luke Kuechly, a finalist last year, as was Ravens linebacker Terrell Suggs. Chargers and Patriots safety Rodney Harrison. Patriots and Eagles corner Asante Samuel. Seahawks safety Earl Thomas. Bears corner Charles Tillman. Eagles corner Troy Vincent. Cowboys safety Darren Woodson, a finalist last year. Steelers kicker Gary Anderson. Raiders punter Shane Leckler. Redskins running back, punt, and kick returner Brian Mitchell. And Patriots and Colts kicker Adam Vinatieri, a finalist last year. So my five, because that's the max that can get in from the modern era candidates. My five are Drew Brees. I think he gets in first ballot. I think that's probably the easiest one of all the candidates. My second one is a second first ballot. Larry Fitzgerald, I think, should definitely get in. I don't know his career ranks. Probably talk more about that as we move forward in voting. But, yeah, I think Larry Fitzgerald should definitely get in as well. Rams wide receiver Torrey Holt. He was my fifth one. Okay, there's a lot of tough ones for that fifth spot. I was in between Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, Willie Anderson, Steve Smith Sr., and Darren Woodson. Those were the four that I was in between, and I just felt like Torrey Holt deserved to be on there. maybe Reggie Wayne is should be over him. That was really the two that I was in between, but yeah, that's my fifth one. The other two I have are Panthers linebacker Luke Kuechly. Didn't get in first ballot last year. I think he should get in though. He was the most dominant linebacker in the 2010s. I really think, even though he played a short career, he should get in sooner rather than later. And Patriots kicker Adam Vinatieri. I mean, the best kicker in NFL history, most clutch kicker in NFL history. I don't think he was a finalist last year. I see no reason why he shouldn't get in this year. All right, the contributors list for the Hall of Fame. Oilers and Titans owner KS Bud Adams, Monday Night Football creator Rune Arledge, color commentator Howard Cosell, NFL Films voice John Facenda, Pro Scout founder Mike Giddings, Canton Bulldogs owner Ralph Hay, Patriots director of player personnel Frank Bucko Kilroy, Rams GM Don Klosterman, Rams scout Eddie Catal, Patriots owner Robert Kraft, Bears owner Virginia McCaskey, 49ers executive John McVay, Cowboys founder and owner Clint Murchison Jr., Steelers vice president Art Rooney Jr., Bears defense coordinator Clark Shaughnessy, so he's up for coach and contributor lists there. Elias Sports Bureau owner Seymour Seewoff, Raiders CEO Amy Trask, Packers scout Jack Venisi, Chief scout Lloyd Wells, Cowboys executive John Wooten, and NFL executive Buddy Young. So I believe there you can get two contributors in, and my two, Canton Bulldogs owner Ralph Hay. I don't know why he's not in yet. He's one of the founding members of the NFL. Canton Bulldogs were the most dominant team in early professional football in the 1910s and 20s. So I really like Ralph Hay. I think he should be in, obviously, post-mortem there. And then Cowboys executive John Wooten. I have heard him speak before. I've listened to his scouting takes. He was one of the really big proponents of the increase in scouting and getting everything together with that side of pro football. So I think John Wooten should definitely be in as well. Other general news, Broncos linebacker Dre Greenlaw, his suspension for going after an official after their win over the Giants, upheld by the NFL, NFLPA arbitrator there. So he is suspended this weekend against the Cowboys. Pro Bowl games moving to the Tuesday of Super Bowl week. So they're going to have no more Pro Bowl games by themselves the week before the Super Bowl. They will be the same week as the Super Bowl. Bengals today, linebacker Logan Wilson requesting a trade has seen his playtime decrease this season as we've gone on and looking for a different avenue to playing time somewhere else. IR, the Bucks wide receiver Mike Evans, broken collarbone. He's out at least probably around 8 weeks. Might be able to come back a little bit sooner, but looking like most of the season, Bucks, he may be able to come back for the playoffs. The Bucks make it. Saints running back Kendre Miller, terrible news for him. Torn ACL. He is done for the year. Tough 2 years so far in the NFL. He and Marshawn Lloyd for the Packers, those two young running backs in year 2, just cannot get on the field. Kendre Miller has been on the field a lot more than Marshawn Lloyd, though, for sure. Dolphins, tight end Darren Waller, pec strain. Man, I was so pissed. My in-season comeback player of the year, man. I had a big payout waiting for me if he could have continued the run. And, man, injuries suck. So he's out at least 4 weeks. Titans corner L'Jarius Sneed and the Bills safety Taylor Rapp with a knee injury. IR return, Jets getting back linebacker Quincy Williams. Cowboys, big-time returners here. Center Cooper Beebe, rookie corner Siobhan Ravel, and linebacker DeMarvion Overshone. So Ravel looking to make his first NFL appearance of his career, second rounder this year, coming off the torn ACL last year at East Carolina. Injuries, Vikings, QB JJ McCarthy looking like he's on track to start next week and come back. Big one, Vikes under 500 now, play Detroit. Chargers, last night, safety Derwin James Jr., low ankle sprain. Looks like because they played on Thursday, he might not even miss a game with a mini bye here. Ins and outs, a ton of injuries. It is ridiculous the amount of injuries we have had this year. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels, he has a hamstring injury. He is out for Monday Night Football. Marcus Mariota starting in his place. Bucks running back Bucky Irving, foot and shoulder injuries. Wide receiver Chris Godwin, fibula. Edge rusher Hassan Reddick with ankle and knee injuries. They are all out. Nose tackle Vita Vea with a foot injury. He is questionable. Rookie wide receiver Emeka Egbuka with a hamstring injury. He is off the injury report, good to go. Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson's corner Sauce Gardner, they are both out. Quarterback Tyrod Taylor, knee injury. He is questionable. Aaron Glenn declining to name a starting QB this week. So we'll have to wait and see who trots out there first, whether it's Taylor or Justin Fields. Bills defense tackle Daquan Jones, calf injury, wide receiver Joshua Palmer, knee and ankle injuries. They are both out. Panthers QB Bryce Young, ankle sprain. He is doubtful. Colts wide receiver Josh Downs, concussion, off the injury report. He will return this week. Bengals defensive end Trey Hendrickson, hip injury. He is questionable. Falcons edge rusher, rookie edge Jalen Walker, and rookie safety Billy Bowman Jr. They are both out. Quarterback Michael Penix Jr., a bone bruise on his knee. He is questionable. Good news, though, wide receiver Darnell Mooney, hamstring injury. He is back, good to go. Saints tight end Juwan Johnson, neck injury. Wide receiver Chris Olave, ankle injury, both off the injury report and playing. Bears, a lot of injuries here. Corner Kyler Gordon, groin and calf. Tight end Cole Kmet, back injury. Corner Tyreek Stevenson, shoulder injury. They are all out. Running back DeAndre Swift, groin injury. Kicker Cairo Santos, thigh injury. They are both questionable. Linebacker Tremaine Edmonds, ankle injury. He is good to go. Ravens getting a ton of guys back. QB Lamar Jackson, hamstring injury. Officially listed as questionable. Expected to play, though, and return after a couple weeks. Corner Chidobe Awuzie, hamstring. Wide receiver Zay Flowers, shoulder. Safety Kyle Hamilton, a groin. Corner Marlon Humphrey with an illness. Linebacker Roquan Smith, hamstring. Offensive tackle Ronnie Stanley, ankle. Fullback Patrick Ricard, calf injury. They are all off the injury report and playing. Great to have all those guys back for Baltimore at a 1-5 record. Big news for the Eagles today. Wide receiver A.J. Brown, hamstring. At corner Adoree Jackson, concussion. Center Cam Jurgens, knee injury. Edge rusher Azeez Ojulari, hamstring. Corner Jacorian Bennett, pec injury. And defensive end Brandon Graham. They are all out. 49ers, QB Brock Purdy with a toe injury. Wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, knee. Defensive end Bryce Huff, hamstring. Defensive end Yetur Gross-Matos, hamstring. They are all out. Mac Jones starts once again for San Fran. Texans going to be without wide receivers Nico Collins with a concussion and Christian Kirk with a hamstring injury. Defensive end Danico Autry, knee injury. He is questionable. Made his return last week. Looking good for Charlotte. They got on the board. Field goal, 7-3. Mean Green up on the 49ers there. College football pick standings. Yeah, it's a close race here. I got up a game again on Logan last week. Very solid records, though, overall. Logan, I was super surprised. 8 lone wolves last week. And he did okay. He went 500. He went 4-4. He got the Minnesota Golden Gophers right over Nebraska on Friday. He got Vanderbilt right over LSU on our Saturday opener. Lost Duke against Georgia Tech. Michigan over Washington he got right. He lost Ole Miss against Georgia. UNLV against Boise State. Got Arizona State right over Texas Tech. And then Auburn, he lost against Missouri in double overtime. I got my only one right. North Dakota in our FCS game of the week. They trounced Southern Illinois by 19 points, 38-19. Jimmy suffered 0-2 in his lone wolves. Baylor losing to TCU by 6. USC losing to Notre Dame by 10. So we got a bunch of lone wolves again this week. I am up by 3, though, on Logan. Jimmy trailing by 4 after a bad week there. Starting tonight, the game we have coming up in 4 minutes. Cal at Virginia Tech. Okay. Look. This is kind of wild. I am lone wolfing a team that is 6.5-point favorites, okay, at home on a Friday. I think it's a weird atmosphere. Okay, Blacksburg is going to be rocking, and I would love if Vatek had their black unis on tonight to really like do a blackout on a Friday night in Blacksburg. I think that would be fantastic. Cal traveling all the way across the country, very difficult trip. While they have been pretty solid this year under Justin Wilcox, 5-2, Virginia Tech, obviously not the season that Brent Pryanko wanted. Kyron Jones has struggled, and this Cal defense, I think, will give him some issues. I just think it's the home atmosphere. This thing moved up from 4.5 to 6.5, so I think that also speaks to what the experts think in terms of gamblers. So I'm going with them. I'm going with the money. Give me Vatek to win it. I don't know about the 6.5. It seems like a lot in this kind of game, but I like the Hokies at home tonight. 50.5 is the total. I'm going to go with the under. 7:30 ESPN. Yeah. Number 8, Ole Miss at number 13, Oklahoma. Sooners getting 5.5 at home, and it's tough. It was a tough decision for me to go against John Mateer, but I think that he will definitely be better after a week, together there with his guys and another week healthier. But I also like this Ole Miss team, okay? They struggled defensively against Gunnar Stockton last week. I'm not sure that that's going to be the case against Oklahoma. I think that Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss is going to play a lot better, although Norman is another difficult place to play. But I'm just rolling with the Ole Miss Rebels here. I think Lane Kiffin gets it right and gets a big upset win on the points there on the road. Big miss here for North Texas. Drew Mestemaker threw a dime down the field, wide open, wide receiver, dropped it. Would have scored a touchdown, or it would have been a big gain at the very worst, as he was kind of falling to the ground already. Total in this one's 51.5. I like the over. 12 p.m. SEC on ABC. Number 18, USF. Number 18, USF at Memphis. Another lone wolf here. Yeah, I originally thought Memphis, but I haven't looked into it enough. But I think the Brendan Lewis thing scared me off. I think he's injured. That's why USF is a 6.5-point favorite on the road against a really good Memphis team and a tough place to play. That's why I like USF. Also, they've been dominant at times this year. For head coach Alex Golis, the defense gets turnovers galore, and the offense, they have really been able to sustain success there, both passing and running. So that's why I like the Bulls on the road here in a tough one. Big time implications for the AAC race. Yeah, that's another thing I like about Virginia Tech tonight. True freshman quarterback for Cal, Darren Kiawe, Segapolo Tele on the road in Blacksburg. Very difficult environment for a freshman. Total here is 57.5. I am going to go with the under. USF defense keeps it under. 12 p.m. ESPN 2. Nebraska hosting Northwestern. Looking to go on a bunch here this week again. But yeah, that one was this one's kind of difficult. I just like Nebraska. It's a home game, right? Dylan Raiola, I think, is going to play well, and they need to play well after their loss last Friday to Minnesota. So I think they get it rebounded. And Northwestern's been a surprise in the Big Ten this year, 5-2, very solid for the Wildcats and Ryan Braun. But Northwestern at home, I think is going to be Nebraska at home is going to be too tough of an opponent there. Total's 44.5. I'm going to go with the over. 12 p.m. FS1. SMU at Wake Forest. It's kind of surprised the Mustangs only 2.5. I know it's a road game at Wake Forest, but I don't know. I really like SMU. Kevin Jennings should have a good day. Wake Forest, very good game against Georgia Tech a couple weeks ago. But I think SMU is more explosive offensively, and I think Kevin Jennings and Krug, they get it done there. Rhett Lashley. 53.5 the total here. I'm going to go with the over. 12 p.m. on the CW. Number 15, Mizzou at number 10, Vanderbilt. I know. It's like I'm going against America right here, right? Everyone loves Diego Pavia. Our guy John had him, at New Mexico State. Led them to a bunch of great wins there. Second year at Vandy, and he has them in the top 10 in the country in the AP poll. I understand that, but I also like Bo Pribula, okay? Very difficult game. They lost to Alabama in Columbia. They also faced a very good Auburn defense last week. So I think that the resiliency by Bo Pribula to get up and off the ground time and time again is something that I very much liked to see last week. So I like Missouri. Tigers get it. Get the win on the road in a tough atmosphere in Nashville. Total is 53.5. I'm going to go with the under. 330 ESPN. Number 11, BYU at Iowa State. Okay. Yeah, Logan Roll with the Cyclones. This one was a difficult one for me to pick. I picked Iowa State to win the Big 12 preseason. If they want to do that still, they have to win this game. I also have BYU under 7.5 wins. Not going to happen. They're already at 7. So I believe they're probably going to win one more down the stretch here. This is going to be a difficult game for Bear Bachmeier, okay? I thought it was going to be a difficult game last week against Utah, but that was at home. That was in Provo, okay? This one on the road in Ames. I think it's going to be much more difficult atmosphere. Is Iowa State healthy enough, though? Because that's been the issue. That's why they've lost these 2 games. They have not had their guys, and Rocco Becht has struggled as well. So they need to have their guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And if they do, I think they're going to be okay. I think they have enough talent to hang with BYU and maybe even beat BYU. So I understand the Iowa State pick. I think it's been a very close and difficult game for BYU. But I ultimately think the Cougars get it. They are on one right now. Kalani Sitake has these boys rolling. Total's 49.5. I'm going to go with the under. 330 on Fox. Number 23, Illinois at Washington. Yeah, I've been impressed with the Huskies this year. Jed Fish's squad, Jonah Coleman at running back, and Damon Williams at quarterback, ultra dual threat there. At home, good place to play there in Seattle. I think that Jed Fish outcoaches Brett Bielema in this one. I really like a Luke Altmaier for Illinois. They've been kind of flying under the radar this year as a top 25 squad, but I think Washington should be a top 25 squad as well. Tough game last week at the Big House against Michigan. They rebound. They get to 6-2. Bowl eligibility on the line in this one. Total's 54.5. Give me, I'm going to go with the over here on this one. 330, Big Ten Network. Another Big Ten matchup here of 5-2 squads, Minnesota at Iowa. We are all on the Hawkeyes. I was kind of surprised no one went with Minnie after Logan got the lone wolf win for the Gophers last Friday. But I think this Iowa team is very stout, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We saw it against Penn State. They really shut it down in the second half, and especially in the fourth quarter. Mark Gronowski, he just wins, man. Like, that's what he does. Two-time FCS national champ with South Dakota State. And I'm not saying Iowa's going to win the national championship, but they definitely could have a say in potentially the Big Ten. Who knows? Who is that second team? Obviously Ohio State, Indiana are the two right now, but who knows? You never know. Maybe a dark horse comes out of nowhere. But yeah, Iowa wins this one. Total is 39.5. What a total there. The Penn State game went over, and I'm going to go with the under, though, on this one. Great start for the Hokies. Big-time sack. They looked like 14, 15 yards there on that one. First play of the game. 3:30, Big Ten on CBS. Yeah, 14 yards. Look at that. I'm on point. San Diego State at Fresno State. 5-win team matchup in the Mountain West. And I think SDSU is the better team. I've been disappointed by Fresno a little bit. They kind of came out of nowhere, I thought. So I think SDSU, they have the defense to really do this thing. So I'm going to go with the Aztecs, as is everyone else. Total's 47.5. Let's go with the under here. 3:30 on FS1. Baylor at Cincinnati. We are all on the Bearcats here. I think this one's going to be a close game, as do the bookmakers at 3.5 there for Cincinnati at home. Baylor has been a sneaky team, despite their 4-3 record. Sawyer Robertson's playing hell of a good football right now, so be wary of that, Cincinnati. But other than that, I think this Cincy offense with Brendan Sorsby has been lights out. They've been running the ball with Joe Royer as well, so I think Cincy gets it one here, 66.5, crazy total. Let's go with the over. Why not? Score some points in Ohio this weekend. And another good stop here, Virginia Tech, 3 and out on defense to start the night. So great defense for the Hokies at home. 4 p.m. ESPN2 here. Number 22, Texas at Mississippi State. I was surprised. We didn't pick the Kentucky-Texas game last week because it was a 12.5-point spread. However, I did bet on Kentucky outright at, I think it was like plus 300 or something like that. I'm betting on Mississippi State again this week. I'm betting against Texas again. Okay, Arch Manning got his first ever true road win last week, but he played like shit. And I have no clue how Kentucky did not win that game based off what the stats were, what I watched in that game. So I have no clue how Kentucky lost that game. I think Mississippi State is a better football team. They've lost some steam after their 4-0 start, lost 3 straight start SEC play. But this is a home game. Arch Manning's going to hear cowbells in his nightmares because the Bulldogs are coming. And I think that this defense is going to shut Texas down offensively again, just like Kentucky did last week. Give me the Mississippi State Bulldogs, as Logan is on with me, to upset the 22nd ranked Texas Longhorns here in Starkville. Total's 46.5. I'm going with the under. 415 SEC Network. First down, Virginia Tech. Number 3, Texas A&M at number 20, LSU. Yeah, I don't think this one's going to be as close as the spread indicates here. I think A&M's the much better team, both offensively and defensively. A&M defensively, despite putting up some big numbers on the scoreboard, letting up some big numbers, I should say, they have been solid for Mike Elko most of the year. And offensively, Marcel Reed has been ultra dynamic, especially when paired with the dynamic running back duo of Reuben Owens and Le'Veon Moss. So I think this offensive line is going to push around LSU. No Whit Weeks for the Tigers defensively again. So a big loss in the middle of that defense. And I think LSU offensively, they've just been bland. No creativity, no explosiveness on the offensive side. Garrett Nussmeier is not playing good ball right now. So I think A&M wins it easily. Touchdown, Hokies, Aiden Green, 27-yard receiving touchdown from Kyron Drones. Excellent play there, and Hokies getting up 7-zip early. Total in this game, 49.5. I'm going to go with the under. 7:30 ABC. Death Valley, tough place to play, but A&M has already played and won at Notre Dame this year, so I think they'll be okay. Number 17, Tennessee at Kentucky. Okay, I mentioned the Wildcats against the Longhorns last week, but I think Tennessee's a better team. Maybe not defensively, but offensively, I think Tennessee can get it done. Joey Aguilar's a better quarterback right now, it looks like anyways, than Arch Manning is, although less dynamic, I think. But I think Tennessee is going to get it done. Josh Heupel goes on the road. Weird shit happens in Lexington, but I don't think it's going to be as weird. And I think Tennessee ultimately is able to get this win here. Maybe not cover. I don't know. 8.5 is a lot on the road in Lexington, but I think the Vols win it. 54.5 is the total. I'm going to go with the under. 7:45 SEC Network. Houston at number 24, Arizona State. Okay, we're all on the Sun Devils. You know, I really wanted to go with the Cougars. I think they have been a miraculous team so far this year. 6-1, potentially worthy of a top 25 spot. But look, Arizona State looked super different with Sam Leavitt back at quarterback. And I think that's why ASU will continue their ascent back to the Big 12 title game like I had them in my preseason against Iowa State, although Iowa State might not make it now. But I think ASU definitely has the capabilities to get there and win it in back-to-back years here. Do like Cougars plus 7.5, though. I think it's, touchdown is too much for this type of game here. 46.5 is the total. I'm going to go with the under. Two good defenses. 8 p.m. ESPN 2. And our FCS game of the week, okay? You got to watch this. Everyone, it's a standalone game for the FCS, okay? Have to watch this. This thing is going to be excellent. Excellent. And number 1, North Dakota State. Number 2, South Dakota State for the Dakota Marker Trophy. I think NDSU is about 3-point favorite. And these teams have won the last 3 national championships, last 4. I can't remember past the SDSU ones. But look, this is going to be a phenomenal game. And again, standalone game, 8 p.m. ESPNU. There's not many other late college football games that's starting at 8 or later. You got a bunch of the 7:30 games for the FBS, but watch this game. I'm telling you, it's going to be riddled with NFL players, future NFL players, and especially Bryce Lance, Trey Lance's brother, has been outstanding for the Bison this year. And the 2 quarterbacks potentially could be up for the FCS Heisman there. Was it the Walter Payton Award? I can't remember what it's called there in FCS, but yeah, watch this one. It's going to be a fantastic game. We're all on the Bison. I love South Dakota State Jackrabbits. Don't love them as much after Jimmy Rogers left the head coach, and Mark Gronowski, and they lost a couple other players as well. NFL pick standings. Danny has moved ahead of me based off the tiebreaker that I have, which is lone wolf record, and he has a 500, or I should say, yeah, he has a 500 record. I am 1 game under 500, 2 games under 500, I should say. So yeah, he has a better lone wolf record, but still the same record. But Danny's been on a tear, guys. 21-3 the last 2 weeks. He has been climbing up the leaderboards consistently, getting 2 wins over me the last 2 weeks, 3 wins actually the last 3. So yeah, he has been fantastic at picking this week, or the last couple of weeks. Last week, Lone Wolf's 0-3 in total on the crew. Logan lost his only one. The Vikings losing in a close one to the Eagles. I lost both of mine. The Jags getting demolished in London against the Rams, and the Falcons losing by 2 against the 49ers. But everyone better thank me, because our primetime record had not been very good. So I took the bullet for everyone on the Falcons. And that is why I'm tied now with Danny. Otherwise, I would have picked the 49ers and had a 1-game lead still. But Logan and Jimmy together, they are 3 games back. John still trying to fight back up. He is 8 back there. So no international games this week. So we start off with a 1 p.m. slate. Giants at the Eagles. We're all on the Birds, 7.5 points. I think that's probably going to go down. I haven't checked the spreads since the news broke. A.J. Brown's not playing. So a lot of work for Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. It's going to be tough inside as well. No Cam Jurgens, so Dexter Lawrence should have a decent day also. But the Birds should get it, and I think they want to smash the Giants after what happened 2 weeks ago on Thursday Night Football. They do not want to give the Giants any sort of chance in this game. I think they're going to come out with a mindset, and Jordan Mailata said it, toughness. They want to be tough on both sides of the ball in the trenches. So let's see if they can do that. I think the Eagles win and they cover. They smash the Giants. 43.5 total. I like the over. Eagles are going to score some points offensively, I think. Back-to-back 3-and-outs for the Cal offense, and Hokie defense has been the lights out so far this game. Bills at the Panthers. Danny. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I did not see that one comment here, and I don't hate it either, okay? I think Panthers do cover here, plus 7.5. The Bills are one of the worst teams defensively against the run. Obviously, the Panthers third in rushing. Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard in his return last week split carries essentially. So I think they're going to run the ball well against the Bills, and Andy Dalton, veteran quarterback. He knows how to get the ball out to his playmakers. So we'll see what they can do there. But Buffalo, they need a win. They need to get back on track here after loss to the Patriots, and I think the Falcons as well. Back-to-back losses there. So I think they could do good on track though, and I think they beat the Panthers in Charlotte. 45.5 is the total. I'm going to go with the under. Jets at the Bengals. Yep, no one has the Jets getting their first win of the year. I do think they're going to be improved, though. Tyrod Taylor, the veteran, despite knee injury, I think he is going to end up being the starter. So I think that improves the passing game, albeit despite no Garrett Wilson. So it's going to be difficult. But the Bengals defensively have not been very good. They got ran all over by Jalen Warren. And I think that's the recipe if the Jets do want to get their first win. Run the ball. Breece Hall has been phenomenal despite the 0-7 record, despite everything. Breece Hall has been a steady force, and they know how to run the ball for the Jets with or without Justin Fields. So I think run the ball with Breece Hall, make him the focal point of this offense. And it also is going to be tough to stop Joe Flacco and the rhythm that he is in with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. So it might have to be a shootout, but if you can limit the possessions for Joe Flacco with the run game, I think that will definitely benefit you. Keep it as low scoring as possible if you're the Jets, and squeak one out with a Nick Folk field goal. 6.5 is the total. I lean Jets plus 6.5. I think that they can keep in here potentially, even without Sauce Gardner. 44.5 is the total. I'm going to go with the over. Bears at the Ravens. We are split. And I kind of wanted to go flip here and give Danny a lone wolf. But at the same time, I don't. I'm going with my pick from the beginning of the week when I first saw it. I like the Bears plus 7 by the half a point to get it to a even 7 there. I just think the Ravens defensively, they're getting a lot of guys back, okay. But who's to say that these guys are going to be prepared, right away off the bye, coming off injury? I don't know. I think that the Bears have been running the ball all very well with DeAndre Swift, who is questionable, and Kyle Monangai, the rookie. So I think that's what they do. They run the ball against this Ravens defense. They pound them all day, run play action, get Caleb Williams on the move away from this pass rush, and let the receivers cook because this Baltimore secondary has been cooked this year. And Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, those are your guys. And Colson Loveland, no Cole Kmet. So Colson Loveland getting a lot more work this week, the 10th overall pick in the 2025 draft. Give Danny and I the Bears here. It's going to be tough to stop Lamar, though, for sure. 49.5 is the total. I'm going to go with the over. And Derrick Henry. Bears not very good defensively run stopping. Dolphins at the Falcons, okay. The sky is falling in Miami. I still have no clue how Mike McDaniel has not been fired yet. Maybe he will after this one. 1-7. They haven't sold any pieces yet either. Trade deadline's coming up. I don't know. Jalen Waddle, they said they're not going to trade him. So I don't know what's going on with Miami. They don't have a defense. They can't stop the run at all. Their corners are not very good at all either. So I don't know what they can do defensively to stop this Falcons team and Bijan Robinson. I highly expect Bijan Robinson to absolutely dominate this team, kind of like he did the 49ers, the 170 rushing yards there. Total is 44.5. I like the over. Niners at the Texans. This was another close one for me, as it is close on the spread as well. 2.5 for Houston. It went up a point, actually, from 1.5. Mac Jones starts once again for San Fran. I really need San Fran to keep winning for future bets purposes, and I know the Texans just lost in Seattle, but this is a home game for one, and I think also defensively the Texans have been stout really so far this year, despite the 2-4 record. D'Amico Ryans in this defense has been very, very good. So I think without some of the weapons available for San Fran, it is George Kittle's National Tight End Day. So definitely bet on some George Kittle props. I think he's going to be more involved in the second game back after he didn't get a target last week in a running game for CMC. So I think, Texans win it. C.J. Stroud, they have to get this passing game going with someone. No Nico Collins, so Jalen Noel, Jaden Higgins, the two rookies out of Iowa State, Xavier Hutchinson as well should be prominent. And Dalton Schultz, of course. Dalton Schultz is going to have a hell of a game. I think Woody Marks out of the backfield also very good. 41.5 is the total. I like the under in that one. The Browns at the Patriots. Last 1 o'clock game here. We're all in New England. I lean Browns plus 7.5, but I also think the Patriots could cover here and demolish Cleveland. It's going to be difficult. Okay, Drake May at home. Patriots just 1-2 at home this year. 4-0 on the road. I think Stephon Diggs has a good day. I think that Cleveland limits Drake May's running ability. and they're going to stop the running game. That's one of the strengths of this Cleveland defense, the front seven. Carson Swessinger, my defensive rookie of the year in season here. So giving the Patriots closer than people think potentially, but also I could see them blowing out. I don't know how this game's going to go. Total's 40.5. I'm going to lean on the under, I guess. Toss-up game for me. Bucks at the Saints. I think the Bucks win and cover. Spencer Rattler continues to struggle. He's been playing actually not bad ball. It's just he doesn't have enough playmakers outside of Chris Olave and Jawan Johnson, okay? And they don't have a running game right now. Alvin Kamara has struggled. Kendry Miller injured now. So Devin Neal, the rookie out of Kansas, steps in as the backup to Kamara. And if they want to do anything, I think it's the passing game that has to step up. This Bucs secondary is banged up. So I think that's the way to do it. But I think the Bucs aren't going to have to defend or block as difficult a pass rush as they did last week. So I think Baker Mayfield's going to have more time and make a Ibuka, Sterling Shepard, K-Dot, and get it to those guys. Total is 46.5. Oh, this is the 405 game, by the way. 46.5 is a total. I like the under in that one. Titans at the Colts. My goodness, 14.5 for Indy. And I can see the Colts covering. I mean, this Titans team is very bad. Interim head coach Mike McCoy losing his first game last week. I don't see how Tennessee competes with Indy. They can't stop the run, so I think Jonathan Taylor's going to have a big day. Ladarius Sneed's on IR now, so who's going to cover Michael Pittman and Alec Pearson? Now that you add Josh Downs back into the fold, Tyler Warren is a monster himself in the middle of the field. So I don't know how they defend against this Colts offense. And defensively for Indianapolis, they're going to continue their ways. Laiatu Latu's been having a great season, and I think he's going to be able to get pressure quite easily on this porous Tennessee offensive line. Start of the 425 slate here. 47.5 is the total. I lean on the over. I think the Colts could put up a good number here. The other 425 game, Cowboys at the Broncos. Danny and I together once again. Hey, man, I'm just saying him and I are the top two on the board, so maybe y'all should learn something and follow us. Maybe you shouldn't. I don't know. But what I will say is Denver, last game was a fluke, okay? Dre Greenlaw suspended for this one. Okay, I still think they have good linebacker depth, Justin Sternad and everyone. The Cowboys offensively have been outstanding. They're number one offense. They can run the ball, pass the ball. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams. Okay, cool. They have not ran into a defense like this Broncos team. Defensively, the Cowboys have looked very good the last couple of weeks because they haven't been playing high-powered offenses, okay? Even Washington last week, missing Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel, and then Jaden Daniels gets hurt in the middle of the game, so they don't have that dynamic dual threat like him behind center. Marcus Mariota, used to be that. He's not really that fast anymore like that, but yeah, I think that Denver gets it done. Bo Nix is going to have a field day with this Dallas defense. Cortland Sutton should play very well also. Give me Troy Franklin receptions in this one also. 50.5 is the total. I like the over. Sunday Night Football, Packers at the Steelers. Yeah, I mean, what else do you what else did you think was going to happen? Of course, I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers revenge game. How can you not pick the Pittsburgh Steelers in this game? It's at home in Pittsburgh. They have a home field advantage there anyways. And by the way, great stat for all those analytics people. The Packers have lost 6 straight in Pittsburgh. They have not won a game in Pittsburgh since 1970, okay? Bart Starr was the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. So do with that what you will. But yeah, they have not won in a very, very long time in Pittsburgh. It does not end here. Pittsburgh wins their 7th straight at home against the Packers. Defensively, it's going to be a struggle against this high-powered Packers offense. They got to stop Josh Jacobs, make Jordan Love beat them, and they don't have to face the ridiculous receivers like they did last week. Still good, Romeo Dobbs and co., but I think definitely a lot less talent than Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. 45.5 the total. Oh, block Micah Parsons, by the way. They've been doing a great job keeping Aaron Rodgers protected the last 3 weeks. Block Micah Parsons up. Make him go through 2 to 3 players on each pass snap. Do not leave him one-on-one with anyone. 45.5 the total. I like the under. 820 NBC. Best bets of the week. Yeah, man. Back-to-back weeks, 3-0. I'm rolling. I'm at 66.7% on the year. 14 out of 21. Last week, I hit the Eagles -1.5 at the Vikings, the Browns -2.5 against the Dolphins, and the Patriots -6.5 at the Titans. This week was a lot tougher to pick, so we'll see how it goes. But I like Bears +6.5 at the Ravens. You know, Danny and I are in the minority on the Chicago pick there. But I just think Chicago can keep in that game, even with Lamar and everyone back. I think the Bears are good enough offensively to stay in that one and kind of cover up their defense. So give me Bears +6.5. I know I wish it was 7 so I could have that, but I got to go with what's on the book, and that's 6.5 right now at ESPN. So 6.5 +6.5 for Chicago. -3.5 is the line I got for the Bucks. I really love that. Buy the 0.5 point to 3 if you want to get a nicer one. So I like Bucks. I think they cover the 4.5 that it's at right now. Anyways, I think they have a very good time in New Orleans. And the Broncos -2.5 at the Cowboys. You'll see in a second. I'm going against like everyone on their dog picks, so I don't care. I like the Broncos. You know, Danny and I are on Denver together, so that just that just makes it even more interesting that you know, we're all against each other on that game. But I like the Broncos -2.5 against the Cowboys. I think they can cover that. Going for 3 straight, 3-0 weeks. Lock standings. Yeah, we all won. Again, the boys are hot in the locks. 2 weeks in a row, everyone has won. And Danny and John, they're going on 3 weeks. Danny, technically 3.5 weeks. He got the tie with the Cowboys on the Packers game on week 4, the only tie in the NFL. But yeah, last week, Danny and Logan got the Packers right against the Cardinals. I got the Patriots right against the Titans. Jimmy squeaked one out, the Broncos over the Giants, and John got my Eagles right over Jimmy's Vikings. So John's still a half game up on Danny. Danny is a half game up on Jimmy, who is 1 full game back of John. Logan and I down at the bottom. We are 2 games back of John. This week, what does it look like? Jimmy and Danny together on the Bucks. Really love that game for Tampa Bay. Think they can win that one easily against the Saints. John, he is on the Bills over the Panthers. We'll see why Danny does not like that one in a second. Obviously, he's lone wolfing the Panthers, but I am with you, John. I like the Bills to win against my Panthers. Logan, he is on my Eagles. You guys got to stop taking my teams, okay? Only I'm allowed to do that. Logan likes the Eagles against the Giants, and I am on the Falcons. Okay, Falcons against the Dolphins. I know Michael Penix's a little banged up with a knee injury. Run Bijan Robinson. I think that's how they win, and I think that's how they will win. So I like Atlanta at home. Dog standings. My goodness, it has been rough. Danny, though, my goodness, he is rolling, okay? 9-5 on the year. 4 outright wins. Last week, another poultry week for all of us, except for Danny. He hit the Cowboys +2.5 against the Commanders. They won easily. I was on the Jags +3.5 against the Rams. They got demolished 35-7. Logan, He was on the Vikings plus 2.5 against the Eagles. They lost by 6. And Jimmy and John, they got killed as well. Plus 2.5 for the Dolphins at the Browns in the slop. So what do we got this week? Man, it's a lot of Cowboy stars here. Logan, Jimmy, and John, they are against Danny and I on that game. They are the majority with the Cowboys, plus 3.5 at the Broncos. I don't care, okay? The Broncos are going to win that game, and they're going to cover. If you're lucky, you'll get the plus 3.5. You'll get it by the hook, so maybe you'll get a win there. I don't think so. I think the Broncos win, and they win by at least 3, but hopefully more. So you guys lose your covers as well. I'm sticking with the Bears, okay? It's my best bet. It's my dog pick. Danny and I are together on Chicago, as we are for a couple other games as well. I like the Bears plus 6.5 at the Ravens. Go Caleb Williams, run the ball, keep Lamar Jackson off the field, and I think that's how you win the game in Baltimore. Danny, he is rolling with his lone wolf, the Panthers plus 7.5 at the Bills. I think that has a decent opportunity to cover based off what I said with that analysis of that game. But yeah, I don't think they're going to win outright, unfortunately. Although they have won 3 straight. So there's that. Hot. Andy Dalton, though, stepping in. Next week, week 9, I should say. This is week 8 we are going into. But yeah, next week, week 9, get you all your game recaps for Monday night, Thursday night football, and your game previews. Of course, we have the week 8 capper, Commanders at the Chiefs. Marcus Mariota filling in for Jaden Daniels. They're a banged up Washington team going to Kansas City. I don't think that's going to be a very good game. Big spread in that one. And then Thursday night, my bad, I forgot to change that. Next Thursday, though, week 9 opener is going to be a electric one. Ravens at the Dolphins. So 2 teams with a lot of losses there, but I think that's going to be a high-scoring affair for sure, based off what the 2 defenses have put on the field so far. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast, Instagram and X, FAA_bets on X as well. FAApodcast.com is our website. Check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and we will see y'all back on Monday.